Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've stumbled upon this video again from One Islam Productions, which is called What's Happening to UK Muslims. This is obviously in light of the recent riots and the unfortunate stabbing, I believe, of a select amount of young children, which is absolutely horrific. So I obviously am located in Australia, so the news isn't really as public as it should be. And I'm sure other media channels are broadcasting it, but it's not as much here in Australia. So I look for videos like this to give me more insight. So let's react to what's happening to I guess our people.
The UK is experiencing its worst unrest in over a decade, as far-right anti-immigrant violence has spread across the country. The violence was sparked by a shocking incident earlier in the week in Southport, northwest England, where several children were stabbed.
That's disgusting straight away. That's absolutely disgusting.
Leaving 3 young girls dead and the nation in shock. The far right quickly capitalized on the tragedy, spreading disinformation, including false claims that the suspect was an immigrant, to incite anti-Muslim and anti-immigrant protests.
First and foremost, rest in peace to those 3 beautiful little girls. Okay? Because that is absolutely disgusting. And yes, I knew it was a young girl who was stabbed, but I wasn't really across the amount of casualties that happened. Now moving onwards, right? There's going to be absolute mayhem in the media of people again, with false claims. Suspect was an immigrant, etc., etc. But shifting the blame onto Muslims, or in this case, UK Muslims, which in fact is being felt worldwide.
However, police have confirmed that the suspect isn't Muslim and was born in Britain. ITV News reported that a man who was convicted in 2018 for being a member of a banned neo-Nazi organization was among those present at last week's protests in Southport, which ignited the wave of far-right actions across the country. Over the weekend, crowds of...
I keep seeing this name pop up, and I'm not even too sure if this is the person that's pushing these rights, but his name is like Tommy Robinson or like Tony Robinson or something. The guy, yeah, he's really pushing this hatred to UK Muslims.
Far-right agitators set fire to hotels housing asylum seekers in 2 cities, leaving residents trapped and terrified. In other cities, rioters damaged public buildings and clashed with police, hurling objects at officers and smashing their vehicles. Most entrances have been secured, with men in high-visibility jackets taking shifts to patrol, and a few worshippers...
What really just gets to me is the fact that for something that happens, and because society and the media has engaged one specific religion to these types of unfortunate events, they just go and attack an entirety of people living in that city or that state. I believe it happened in Southport.
Even staying overnight as a precaution. Mosque officials explain that these measures are necessary during the worst riots the UK has seen in years. The heightened security comes as some Muslims and ethnic minorities in the UK express feeling unsafe amidst widespread violent and racist protests targeting mosques, immigration centres, and hotels, even affecting this traditionally left-leaning city in northern England. Mosque officials and other Muslims in Liverpool expressed their shock after violent mobs targeted 2 mosques further north in England. Additionally, hundreds of anti-immigration protesters and counter-protesters clashed in central Liverpool, leading to looted shops and injured police officers. The Abdullah Quilliam Mosque, which claims to be Britain's first mosque.
One thing out of all of this, right, is it's always going to be collateral damage. So you've got people in the crossfire that don't want to be involved on both sides, let's just say. Not on both sides, but on neither side. And yeah, they just get caught up in it. And unfortunately, these are the people that are also impacted.
Has temporarily closed due to the violence. This unrest was fueled by a false narrative spread online, alleging that the perpetrator of last week's tragic killing of 3 girls in nearby Southport was an Islamist migrant. Tell MAMA, an organization that monitors anti-Muslim incidents, has reported receiving over 500 calls and online reports of anti-Muslim behavior across the UK in the past week, marking a 5-fold increase from the previous week. The group's director, Iman Atta, told Reuters that Muslim communities are feeling terrorized. The group
That's absolutely horrible for those communities to be feeling like this, when in fact, the perpetrator, or let's just call it by what they are, the murderer, okay, happened to be of a different religion, of course. And from memory, I believe he was of Rwandan heritage, but born in the UK. Sorry, born in England.
The group also noted that anti-Muslim hate has been on the rise in the UK even before the recent riots, particularly following the onset of the Gaza conflict last year. Several rioters involved in violent incidents across the UK have been given lengthy prison sentences, according to Britain's PA Media news agency. One man received a 3-year prison sentence after admitting to violent disorder and assaulting an emergency worker in Southport last Tuesday. Another individual was sentenced to 30 months in prison after pleading guilty to violent disorder in Liverpool last Saturday and sending a malicious communication last year. These cases were initially scheduled for hearings later this month.
See, these things happen all the time, right? And it's just the ongoing war of the media, I would say, and certain individuals that call the shots. They're the ones who call the shots in terms of what should be put out there in the media that are completely against Islam because they know it to be the truth. Simple as that. There's nothing more to it.
At Liverpool Crown Court but were expedited. May Allah protect our Muslim brothers and sisters in the UK.
It's a bit of a I guess it's a clip that's enraged me a little bit, but this is what we're facing at the moment in this current climate. And these are the videos that you see. I'm sure there's a lot of videos and a lot of news out there. From what I hear, there's obviously a lot of riots happening in Bangladesh at the moment as well. From memory, it's again, it's against the Muslim communities there, and it's the Hindu communities against those Muslim communities. And these are the things that are reported. And I'm sure there's just so much more out there that just never ever gets around to be reported. And it's very, very unfortunate because those people don't deserve that. But we all know Allah is the best of planners. And Islam will prevail because it's the truth. It teaches, of course, it teaches peace, but it also brings peace to you. It brings people together. It's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood.